Okay, I recently got my viruses taken care of. I mean, I'm still kind of working on them, but now I can make videos instead of just commenting on people's channels and on my own channel and stuff. I can make videos again. And I decided that I would make a video I've been talking about doing for a while. I'm going to be reviewing the anime One Piece. Now, One Piece has got to be my favorite anime dash manga. It has to be. It's, well, Full Metal Alchemist comes close to, but I don't know. One thing I like really long stories, and One Piece is a very long anime. Um, yeah, so it's one of my favorites. It's really good. Um, there is some difference between the manga and the anime, though. Not much, but a little. In the manga, it has a little more pirate jargon. Words like scallywags and scurvy dogs, stuff like that. They say stuff like that in the manga. And also, the manga has a little more blood and gore, a little bit, not much, just kind of a little. And let's see what else. Oh, there is some stuff in the manga that did have to be edited, like Zeph, the pirate that saved Sanji's life. In the manga, he eats his own foot so that him and Sanji can live, while in the uh, anime, can't believe I forgot the word anime. In the anime, he just loses it in a shipwreck, and personally, I like the unedited version just because, like, of that, especially because it just seems more self-sacrificing, and like it has more meaning when he sacrifices his own leg to save Sanji's life. I mean, he does kind of do that in the shipwreck too, but not in the same way. Oh, and Ace's tattoos is another thing. It looks like the Nazi sign, but it's a manji, which is not the Nazi sign because it's like square and the prongs are going the other way around. But yeah, it kind of looks like that. It's not, so they just turned it into skull and crossbones. And that's pretty much all I can say about the differences between the anime and the manga. Except, of course, the anime has fillers, which I actually think is good for this series because each arc is very full of depth and story, and sometimes you could use a break in between there to just kind of relax a little. It's good for that. Okay. Let's see. What else? Of course. The story of this show is, I mean, it's kind of hard to explain the story without it sounding generic, because you just say it's about this 16, 17-year-old boy named Monkey D. Luffy who decides to become king of the pirates and sails off into the ocean to find a treasure called One Piece that will give him the title. Of course, it'll be harder than that, so he has to get some crew members. And the ironic thing is, even though he's the captain, he's like the youngest one except for Chopper, who's a year younger than him in reindeer years, I think. I'm not sure. Okay. So, yeah, the story is very creative and, like, very original. Um, I would have to say my favorite arcs would be the CP9 and Alabasta arcs because those just had so much story and depth in them that it was incredible. I don't think I've ever seen an anime with that much depth for just an arc. And my favorite saga, which there's a difference between a saga and an arc. So you know, my favorite saga has to be the East Blue Saga because that was just great, a great combination of all these short little stories put into one big beginning for the show. And my favorite villain is Crocodile because Crocodile, in my opinion, is still the toughest villain that Luffy's ever had to face. I mean, even though he was in the big villain of the second saga, it took him 3 times to take him down, and he always had a backup for everything. He shut off the bomb. Oh no, now it's a time bomb, or you know, and what other things? Trap doors. He always had like these little tricks and all these little things that kept delaying the Straw Hats from saving the country. So Crocodile's got to be my favorite villain. Um, One Piece does have a couple flaws in it, of course. Death. At the part I'm at, there hasn't been very many deaths, except for in flashbacks. I think there are some characters that should have been killed. They should have died. It would have been... I personally think had Pell died, it would have been more meaningful, just because he actually sacrificed himself instead of him sacrificing himself but still living by chance. It would have been, I think it'd been a little more meaningful had he actually died. Same kind of goes for some of the people in Sky Island. I think they should have, like, well, maybe not so much, but they might have I think it would have been made more sense had they been killed too. And in Thriller Bark, some of those people that were turned to shadows, just so the Straw Hats could actually see what happens when you don't have a shadow and the sun hits you. But yeah, so Ichioda's not a big fan of killing off characters for no apparent reason, which is kind of ironic because he was inspired by Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, and characters die in Dragon Ball Z and come back all the time. Thing is, he can't have the characters come back, so he doesn't kill them, which is a good choice on his part. I agree that you shouldn't just kill a character for no apparent reason, but if there is a meaning for killing that character, he shouldn't be afraid to kill him. That's my opinion. And the Devil Fruits. At the arc I just got to, the arc where all the 11 supernovas appear. Everyone's got a devil fruit in the show now. When you start the show, and Luffy gets his devil fruit, like, well, 4th episode, 1st chapter, you know, it's like this rare thing that no one's ever heard of before. And then by the time you get to the Grand Line, everybody's got a devil fruit. Like, it's rare to see someone that's a good fighter and doesn't have a devil fruit. Which is kind of... I wish there'd be less people with devil fruits. But the devil fruits are very original, and I do kind of like them. A lot of the powers are unique. And I do know that devil fruits are more common in the Grand Line. I do understand that. I just don't think that they need to be that common. Because it kind of ruins the whole, oh my gosh, this person has a devil fruit? I didn't know that existed before. It kind of took that away because a lot of people have devil fruits. The comedy of the show. This show is extremely funny. Like, none of the jokes are very repetitive. In fact, the only joke I can think of that's been milked for all it's worth is the fact that Zoro or Zolo, call him whatever you want in my opinion. I'll say both. I don't know. But Zoro keeps getting lost. Like, he gets lost so much that he can't even navigate himself through a straight line. That's how much they've milked this joke. That's the only joke. Oh, and Brooks, I'm so scared that eyes are popping out or something like that. And then he says, oh, wait a minute, I'm a skeleton. I don't have eyes. It's still kind of funny, but, they're milking that joke a little, too. I think that's just part of Brooks' character. So yeah, the show's extremely funny. Sometimes it can take away from the moment a little. Like, it's pushing the comedy a little too much and taking away from the seriousness. Just a little. And, like, what else is it? Of course, when you talk about the good of the show, you also have to talk about the bad and sad. How sad the show can be.